Yeah. Up in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Viber got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Vibrant finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Vibrant got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Vibrant finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Vibrant got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra's the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.
Let's go. Welcome back to Vibraville. Hope you guys had a great week. Hopefully you didn't look at your portfolios that much. And if you're still getting emotional or feeling like you're in the wrong projects, shit, I overinvested, these coins are doing nothing. That's what the market is meant to do to you. It's meant to have you question everything you're doing, to shake you out of your bags. All right, this FUD that happens now, these dead times, the best projects, the time to accumulate them is now. This is when the opportunity is here. And I really think it's running out. I cannot see the ETFs not being launched by November. Like there's deadlines they have to follow. The government will be back up and running probably next week. You're starting to see the stock market suffer. The economy's starting to suffer now. So it's starting to hit Trump where it hurts. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a turnaround. He's meeting with Xi in a week or two. But, man, screw it all. Focus on your portfolios. Focus on the blue chips you still haven't accumulated and load up in the next couple weeks. That's your homework. But tonight we are bringing back the one and the only Fast Abdoul. What is good, sir?
Hey, Adam, good to see you, man.
How was your week?
It was pretty exciting. There was some, interesting things going on X, and I still managed to make it to the gym. So
that a boy. Yeah, that's one thing I definitely slack on go to the gym, but I do a lot outside. I'm always moving around and can't sit still, so kind of makes an good excuse for not going. Oh, but yeah, guys, if you're not following Fast right now on Twitter, go give him a follow. He's been here since day one, building, explaining stuff to people, educating people, and he has not changed, man. There's so few people in the community that are the exact same from when I first met them, found their streams, whatever, and he's one of them. So appreciate that he's here. Give him a follow if you're not right now, because he deserves it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So what do you think in the markets, Ronnie? Anything you saw this past week that caught you by surprise?
Well, Adam, I think the markets look like shit. What do you think?
I concur, and I kind of feel like it's not organic for the amount of liquidations that happened. We all know now that Binance was using some shitty internal price feed that ended up depegging Athena on their site, and look at that one stable coin depegging on one exchange, the cascade effect it has across all of crypto. That's scary, bro.
Totally. And did you see that thing where PayPal accidentally minted 300 trillion of their stablecoin?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, somebody just fat fingered the zeros, and they were like, for whatever reason, probably legitimate causes, they were minting their stable coin, and they added like, I don't know, 6 extra zeros or something. So they minted $300 trillion of their supposedly $1 stablecoin, which is, like $300 trillion is like, it could erase the US national debt. Like, it's a lot of money, and it wasn't real. So yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah, dude, that's why I did not hear about that. But I did have an issue with them, both for Lindsay and I yesterday. I couldn't use PayPal for like 4 hours. I tried to log in and it just refresh, and nothing would happen. And I had never seen that before. Cash App worked fine. So I wonder if that's when it happened and they had to roll everything back for a couple hours.
Yep. It was actually it was Paxos that minted it, but like which, because they're a PayPal partner, but like, yeah, I bet you messed up their whole system for sure. Here's a link if you like. But like, yeah, the fear is palpable, right? Like, you can tell people are scared, but you can tell that not everybody is scared. Like, when we look at like big treasuries and stuff like that, like, guys aren't like running for the door. Like, the guys who have 100,000 ETH aren't running for the door. It's just the little guys who have 50 ETH. They're running for the door. So it's like, I feel like some people know that the best is yet to come.
Yeah, bro. And it's people, it's us that have to keep people just keep them not worried, keep them fed with actual facts and information and that reassurance that you're supposed to feel like this. In the bear market, the market makers, like, crypto is the most savage markets in the world. You'll get chewed up and eaten up if you don't know what you are doing so fast. But at the other time, it is the most profitable, most I would say, just say, fun markets to be in when things start going. And if you could just buy and hold, you can avoid all of the nonsense, all of the liquidations that happened last week, where everybody that was trading leverage. And what do we do on here? We say all the time, no leverage trading. It's one of Richard Hart's core principles that we've been preaching for years. So all of us that don't leverage trade, every single person that had a 1.5x or more leverage out got liquidated. So imagine if you had like 2x leverage on an ETH long, where you went long at like $3,200 or something, and we're at 4,700, and you add more to it, thinking even if we have a nice dip, we're not going below 3,700. And your exchange, you're trading it on, scam wicks you down to 3,100. So you got liquidated. Then you look around at other exchanges, and you're like, wait a minute, it only hit 3,270 in that exchange. I shouldn't have been liquidated, but that's what they do. They hunt you.
Yep. And we've seen that, like, where, like, on a particular exchange, like Bitcoin will go from, this was a little bit older, but I remember Bitcoin was like 80 grand, and on one exchange it went down to $6,000, but not anywhere else, and liquidated everybody, right? Which you'd think, like, they're a centralized entity, they control that. Should they refund everybody? Yeah, probably, but they don't. So yeah, stay off centralized exchanges. If you're doing leverage, do DeFi leverage. There is such a thing. But still, leverage is risky. If you do not understand, don't participate.
Yeah, bro. And it was cool too. It was I was talking about it with Bud on stream the other night, where since we're kind of isolated on Pulse Chain, we don't have leverage on our site. And there's not many people bridging. Yeah, you can, but we're pretty much on our own island. So we didn't get devastated like all these other altcoins. We had a dip, but it wasn't 40% across the board or more. So that was really, for me, a good sign of what to come, that Richard will really be able to create our own pumps again. Just like last cycle when Hex kind of decoupled, and we were like, shit, Hex decoupled from the market. Every time there's a bear market, Hex is gonna pump. Like, we're in this is the greatest coin ever. So he can do it again.
He definitely can. I think, yeah, the difference between, Pulse Chain and all the other chains is that, like, we don't have leverage on centralized exchanges specifically, right? Which is where everything got wrecked from. So, like, we do have leverage. Like, there are DeFi protocols on Pulse Chain. We have a fork of GMX called Fame, where you can take leverage, but everything's on the blockchain, right? Like, it's not something where it's controlled by a single entity that can make a giant wick and wreck you. It's, pulling right off the PulseX decks to get the price and so on and so forth. But like, we definitely dodged a bullet there. But we're still hurting because we are very connected to ETH, of course, right? Like, we're looking at that big treasury wallet, the sack bag, and like it goes down in value and ETH goes down in value.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And I said it to Bullets, like I just wish when Pulse Chain was launching and PulseX were coming out, I remember K for K talking about 10,000x and we're gonna just get so rich. And we pooled our money for the PulseX sacrifice to get a better rate. So people trusted me. We had like $77,000 between all the guys, and half of them, no, it was $50,000 of that was going to get sold immediately for Pulse Chain when it launched because they missed the Pulse sacrifice. So I saw right away in my group alone, 2/3 of the money was going to get dumped on PulseX to get into Pulse Chain. So that had to be very similar to what was going on everywhere else. So I knew right away, and I was saying we're going to maybe 5-10x if we're lucky. And I got crucified. No one wanted to hear it. I was fighting the chain, and it's like, fuck you guys then, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, I get pretty confused by, well, I guess I do understand, but I can't relate to people who have a bag, but then flood their own bag like all day long. It's really confusing to me. Like it's not like, I get it. Like you're sad, but like go cry in the shower like everybody else and don't tell anyone.
Yep. Bobby, if you've been in space for a minute, this whole narrative is so painted by the numbers, it's practically a buy signal. Yeah, bro, I've been saying that for a long time too, is right now, the fundamentally sound, the utility cryptos, you cannot value them by their USD value. They are so criminally undervalued for where they're going to be in the near term that, again, this is the opportunity, and the normal person can't see that. The market makers want you to feel pain. They want you acting irrational. They want you saying, oh man, I don't know, I can't buy anymore. But yes, you want to keep buying. And when the price goes down and Chuck Norris smacks you in the face again, that's a good thing. That's supposed to happen when the market is like this. Until we see a change in the macro, another couple interest rate cuts, liquidity coming into the market, the VIX needs to start doing something, or the Russell 2000 needs to start breaking out. This has been the longest, shittiest business cycle we've seen in a while, and that stuff will change. So crypto is not necessarily tied to the 4-year cycles as much as the macro that's going on now. And I think people aren't really seeing that. And I love this panic here, bro. Seeing the we were just talking about the market cap of crypto, but the fear and greed at like what, 2025, that's what we want. And this is what I feared for the last couple years when I would say on stream every once in a while that I just, something in my gut tells me we need another COVID type capitulation event before these markets send. And I feel like this liquidation was almost that event. And now we have another bleed and people are just, it's like, wow, what happened? This was October.
Well, you know what they say, the crowd's always wrong, right? So, if everybody's like, October is going to be awesome, maybe it's not. And now people are despairing, like, oh no, it's all over. The bear market's on right now. It's not what like the smart guys are saying, but a lot of people are saying that. So like that's now the crowd. So my play is buy. Not financial advice. Everybody's got to make their own decision there. But just to put in perspective, Adam, like for people watching, like I know what you feel. Like Adam and I feel the same way. Like when you look at the charts and everything's red and crappy, you're like, oh, it kind of wrecks your day. So like it's like that for everybody, right? Like even the full out professionals, like, and I'm not a professional trader, but even the professional traders, like they feel the fear, they feel the FOMO, right? They just learn to control it, recognize it in themselves, ignore it whenever possible. But like, yeah, I totally get it. It's a bad day. But when you look at the facts on the ground, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It is, bro. The thing is, all we had was Bitcoin run. All of the money flowed. Retail's tapped out. Retail got wrecked in the Solana shitcoin season, and that was the end of that. Everyone's traumatized, and you see what I think is going to be following the institutional money. It's going to come in, pump the ETF coins, and that'll flow. into whales in those projects that are holding spot. They start taking profits and the money starts flowing down and trickling down. But yeah, bro, it took me years. When this time last cycle, when I was finding altcoins for the private group we were in, I mean, bro, every single day I was selling a bag of this and buying a bag of that and chasing this and chasing that. And it was so stupid. I wrecked myself in half the plays. And whereas this time around, I understand that that is the last thing you want to do. You need to have your bags packed going into the cycle. And it sucks like holding these altcoins and 3 months later saying, holy shit, my bag bled down to like $200. So let me double it and add $200 more. But this is going to, triple the amount of coins I hold. So if you can get yourself to do that and just accept that it's okay for your coins to go down. Everybody feels it. It's normal. It's not meant to go up forever. But if you do have the one or two altcoins that did a 10 or 15x the last 6 months, or you have a bag of XRP that 6x, that's the stuff that will emotionally make you know you're doing the right thing. That, okay, I have a couple coins that started to pump. Most of my stuff is just getting crushed, but it's okay. The pump will come to those other coins. It's just not that time in the market cycle right now.
And like with Pulse Chain, like the amount of energy it takes to pump the chain is probably way smaller than most people think. Like if, like all it takes is one whale to come in. And I don't mean like a billionaire moving $1 billion. Like one guy with $1 million to come onto the chain and decide like, oh, I like Hex, I'm going to buy Hex. They're whales. They're used to paying slippage. Like if you dropped a clip of $1 million on Hex, it would like 3x instantly, right? Like, and I'm talking Hex on Pulse Chain by the numbers. Hex on Ethereum would probably do a 6x with the same amount of money. And since the liquidity is so connected on Pulse Chain, like if somebody did drop a clip of $1 million into Hex, yeah, it would do a 3x, but you'd still get a 30% move out of all the other cores, like instantly, right? And of course, that would be bought up, so on, or be sold down, so on and so forth. But like, it's an example that like it just doesn't take that much to change these numbers.
No, bro. And Richard will do that. He has to. If he wants to come back and do streams with Ivan and do streams with the mainstream people, if that's what one of his plans when he comes back is, he needs to have his charts looking good. And he'll do that, bro. You're exactly right. The liquidity is so thin right now. We're just primed to pump, but people don't understand that. And
it's thin on purpose, right? Like Richard made it thin by reducing the inflation in the ink farm so people would pull liquidity. So it's like literally he made like there was zero other reason for him to do that. Like it made it so the ink farms barely pay. So it's like, yeah, that was the reason he did it, so that the chain would be easier to pump. Whether it was him pumping, somebody else pumping, definitely easier to pump. It's also easier to dump. That's the other side of that argument. When you have a low liquidity situation, the price can go up or down easier.
Yeah, exactly. And unfortunately for us, I mean, how much further down what's the downside risk on Pulse Chain right now? I mean, 50% max. Like you buy into Hex or PulseX, like I cannot see us ever dipping another 50% from here. Like that would be catastrophic if it did. That's the lifetime opportunity to buy into. That will be the number where that bottom will be the one Richard draws his fucking 10,000x from.
Yeah. He's looking for a line. Yeah, the question is that line there already, right? Like, is the bottom in on Pulse Chain assets? But like if that does happen, like there's so much community support that if people see a silly price, like even like a 30% dip, like in like a single hour on any one of the core assets, people would like FOMO like crazy on that. So like, yeah, I just don't see the 50% dip having an opportunity. If it did, it'd be one person who either like obviously a whale, like a huge whale who either didn't understand, was really angry, or got hacked and the scammer stole their money and made a giant red candle. Because the community just by and large wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, any idea whether or not you'll be using XLR privacy protocol for Pulse? I still haven't looked into it, bro. I haven't had time, but I definitely will. I'll check it out. And yeah, if it's something that I like, for sure, bro. Like I want to support good builders on Pulse Chain for sure. Minus 50% from here has already been reached pretty much. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those exactly, and those were like the all-time lows, and I just can't see us going below those ever again. Like we are at rock bottom pretty much. I mean, I just can't see the government shutdown lasting much longer. Maybe another couple days we bleed a little bit more, but I just don't. I don't think so, guys. Like the volatility is how the market makers make money. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Liquid short squeeze, and then liquidating the longs, and then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's the name of their game. So, what do you think, Fast? Like, do you think this 103 here was the bottom, or you think we'll come down and tap below 100?
You're a better chart guy than me, Adam. I'll ask Wolf next time I'm on with him, but like, you know, at this point, like anything could happen, but like you can see people buying the dip, right? Like, that red candle is a candle, like it's just like it's a wick, right? Like people are buying it back up. They're defending, the 110 on Bitcoin, the 3,800 bucks on Ethereum, right? And on Pulse Chain, it's like, 4 zeros and a 3. It's like, people are pushing towards that point. So, everybody's got their own line. The market will decide, but I think we've seen enough red probably for there to be some green now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like a TA guy at all. Like I just, look at it and just give some bullshit, whatever I'm thinking at that moment. It's just pulling stuff out of my ass. But like you said, this could, we're in a downtrend. This thing could obviously come back down again and make another low, or it could kind of bottom out and chop. Like nobody freaking knows, and that's why I don't pay attention to any of it. I'm here for the long term. I want to know what coins I can buy right now. That if I go to jail for the next 5 years and I come out in 2030, the coins that I bought right now are going to be the blue chips and the gems that are doing the best in 5 years. Like those are the coins I want to own, because these opportunities are going to disappear quick. And, you only got one shot, guys. And Whales Only is one of the best at breaking down. This is an 8-year investment plan to retire yourself.
Okay. That doesn't sound too bad. I'll be under 60 in 8 years. I'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, if I mean, Pulse Chain, we haven't had anything happen yet. I'm giving Richard 10 years with Hex. I think after the 7.5 years, 8 years, when people can start emergency end staking and really leaving that don't believe it, I think that's when that first round of early investors are primarily gone. That's when the new generation, the actual believers of this chain, the supporters, the ones that are here are going to be the primary holders. And those are the ones Richard wants, I think, to be enriched. He's such a petty, cheap guy. He doesn't want people that don't believe in Hex, that are here trashing and making fun of them, but they have stakes, so they stay around so they can cash out and leave.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, except for the timeline. Like I think we're not looking for 10 years until the chain pumps. I feel like it's going to be within this cycle myself.
Oh yeah, bro. I do too. I think I just mean like as a worst case scenario, if we kind of miss out this bull run, but that to me would only happen if ETH does not hit like 7-8K. And I personally think ETH's going to go to 15-20K in 2026, because
if we could do 21K, because that puts the sack bag around even 3 billion. That'd be a good number for me.
oh, bro, yep, for sure. 21K is the 22K it's going to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'll work out fine. Yeah, then there's $3 billion plus in the sack bag. Richard can pump it with 2, keep 1 for himself. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But I honestly wouldn't even be mad if he didn't go crazy with the sack funds this cycle. And he used some, but he kind of left people disappointed with, why didn't you go use more? Da, 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 da. And he saved it for further down the road. But again, like that could be a mistake. He would have been better off blowing the chain up now, solidifying it, and like who knows? But that's why Richard, man, he's smarter than all of us. So we just gotta have faith in him.
By definition, if he wants it to stick, he can't do exactly what we expect, right? Like something has to be different. It could be better than we think, worse than we think. Like, you'd have nobody's ever going to 100% agree, but like it has to be a surprise. He's thinking further down the road than most of us, and he's thinking of, probably things that most of us haven't considered. So, but like, we've seen a lot of action from Richard lately, and that actually makes me super bullish. Because like he was basically silent for a long time, like barely posting, and then like the last 6 months he started posting a lot, and then in this last week he started replying, which hasn't feels like it hasn't happened for like more than a year, where he's actually replied directly to somebody, and he replied directly to many people.
That's a good point, bro, because that to me, I feel like during the whole SEC case, I don't even think he was controlling his Twitter. And if he was, everything that went out was ran through an attorney or somebody and vetted. So he could not be himself. And the fact that he's doing this and going crazy, maybe he knows something that the Interpol, maybe he's paying the Interpol stuff off. Like, who the hell knows what's going on? But it's a good sign that he's back and lighting into the community.
Yeah, I think it was certainly entertaining. Like some people saw it as like a washout, right? Like where he's pissing people off so that they'll leave. But I don't think that's what it was. Like really, what he was doing was just like a live Twitter AMA, right? Like he was responding in real time for like 12 hours or something, which is pretty awesome. But let's go over what you got here, and then I'll give you my ideas about what I think will come next.
Yeah, so I didn't even see this Eric Wall post, but it's just classic. The relationship between Richard and his fans needs to be studied in a lab of some kind. And then Corey
Indeed.
bitching, and Richard's response: "If I see your ass cry fagging about me not being here one single more fucking time, I'm leaving your ass blocked, meatball."
Yeah, that was pretty intense, and I've seen songs about that, all kinds of things. Corey himself is been posting a lot of videos of him cry fagging, like I'm gonna cry fag 590 pounds, which he then deadlifts because he's like a gorilla, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So he's taken it very well. But like Richard definitively did not block Corey and answered questions from Corey later that day. And if you actually look at Corey's message, it's actually not that bad. Like it's like well thought out, well written, very polite, like Corey always is. But it was a little on the, when are you gonna pump the chain, bro? Which it may apparently was not the thing to say. Oh, there's a definition in the dictionary now. Oh, that's
Yes,
fantastic.
bro. I knew it, bro. That changed crypto forever. We have a new crypto term that has been created that will live forever in the trenches. Crypto fagging, the act of making Richard Hart rage spit or crash out. I would add or crash out.
I think there's already several meme coins representing this. So any of you watching who have that bright idea, you're late to the party.
Yeah, and yeah, stay the hell out of any cry fagging memes. Yes, guys,
Yeah,
that is a
this is
very,
not.
very smart idea.
We won't be talking about this next year, probably.
No, this was a good one too, where CZ's post woke up to this. Thanks for the support from industry peers. Listing a third largest market cap crypto should be a no-brainer. Excellent liquidity. Da 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 da. Richard, I kept building and building and building. Would like to wake up to support from the industry peers.
That was good. Yeah. And then the community really hammered under that post, right? Like
Mhm.
there's 1,000 Pulse Chain replies about why Binance should list Pulse Chain. But like, do I think that's going to happen eventually? I definitively do. I think all the big exchanges will list Pulse Chain, whether it is they list it because it's like a good financial move for them, or they list it because they get paid to list it, which I would call advertising. That's an advertising spend to me. Like, if it costs 500K to pay Binance to list your stuff, like if you're a big enough player in the market, that's a good ad spend. There's Corey cry fagging 590 freaking pounds.
I know, dude. And a 3-second hold. He did last one was a 2-second hold, I think, at like whatever, 5. Wow, Corey, yeah, right. He's gonna be at 600. So he keep
Yeah.
getting on about cry fag, and he'll be at 700 pounds next month.
Indeed, it's motivating him. I
Yeah.
I have no idea how much I could lift, but I feel very confident it wouldn't be more than a third of that. That's
Bro, I
that's
was
a
gonna
lot.
say, bro, I bet you 200 would be my max.
Yeah. Yeah, and the curve to get to 600 is probably pretty steep.
Bro,
would
I
be
would have to take all the weights off one side and then half the other side and put it on the other side to do
indeed, yeah.
the
Well, I can
bar
do 40
bending so
push-ups.
bad.
That's like 8,000 pounds. So, yeah,
Bro, yeah, dude, look at the bar starting to bend.
yeah.
Like,
He's
that's
gonna have to get
crazy.
heavier individual weights because it doesn't look like you can fit anything else on there.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say he's gonna need a bigger bar. Yeah, maybe he could fit one more 45, so he's got 90 more pounds, and then, yeah, he's gonna have to get some custom gear.
I only lift people. I never lift weights.
Yep. Yeah, bro, doing jujitsu and rolling, I imagine, like, you get just as strong doing that.
I think it's a little bit different, but like you're definitely it's more jujitsu is more like swimming for your body. Like you're working muscles that most people never work, right? Because you're pulling and pushing on all kinds of different things. So it's a little bit different feel. I
Mhm.
was doing jujitsu last night and I got kneed in the chin, and so my tongue is kind of swollen. So if I'm slurring my words, I'm not drunk, and it will pass.
That's the worst feeling, bro, when your tongue is big or you bit your lip and it's like it just feels so freaking weird.
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was just like straight up on the chin, like I'm not like damaged, but except for like I bit the sides of my tongue on both sides, and it's like my
Oh,
tongue is like about 20% bigger today than
yeah.
most days.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, so what do you
What
think?
are you
I've
looking
been,
at here?
it's Ultrasound Money. It's just a website that tracks the ETH stats, and you see so many people out there. I even saw an article about the ETH stats and why the ETH treasuries, why they're so good, because this is the first time ever you have a deflationary asset in a ETF or in one of these treasuries. And it's like, how can they get away with saying that? Because the E supply has been constantly inflating ever since the L. So look, if you go back 3 years, when the merge happened in 2022, it actually did work. And we went from 120 million all the way down to, well, we lost about a half of 500 million ETH. And then this is where the L2s all in like late 20, early 24, late 23, the L2s came out, took all the transaction settlement and volume off ETH. And ever since April last year, the supply is just inflating nonstop. And um, let me go back to just like the yearly time frame, and you could see in one day, bro, look at that. We put 2,400 ETH. This week, 17,000 ETH hit the market. This month, 75,000 ETH hit the market. And these guys are out here marketing these DATs as a deflationary asset.
In theory, ETH could be deflationary. Like if enough of it gets burned in transactions, but yeah, I don't think that's usually the case. The last time I checked Pulse Chain, it actually was deflationary.
Oh yeah, bro. Pulse is,
Even though we're a fork of ETH, it was deflationary, partially due to pumped out tires. It burns Pulse, but also because of the way the transactions are burned on Pulse Chain. We were in a deflationary trend, which I think will probably continue.
yeah, no, bro. We've burned um one 1.7.9 no 2% of PulseX. And where there's no burn for Pulse Chain.
Pulse is a little more complicated because it has to take into account all the validators and stuff. I have a website. I'll see if I can find it that does the math, but it's way way more complicated than checking the burn address like they do for
Yeah.
PulseX.
Yeah, but even if it's kind of close, bro, like just ETH, and
Even
that's
if it's
too
a
the
flat
thing.
line, that's great.
Yeah, and the thing with ETH too is it's run by Wall Street now, and these BlackRock's grayscales, and they're not hodlers, bro. They want to make money on volume, on trading it, so they are incentivized to keep the gas prices higher. They don't want low fees on Ethereum; they want them higher, and yeah, that will create a little bit of deflation, but it's only when it becomes unusable. So it's going to deflate when it's $600 to do a transaction. And that's not scalable. And all the L2s are taking all the fees away. So I don't know, bro. It's at the top of it. It's at the end of its life cycle for what it was good for. There's so many better technologies out here. And even Pulse Chain, it's such a better Ethereum already. And Richard has the power to send and screw Ethereum back over with some of the I forget exactly, but he has the ability to do something with functions on Pulse Chain that's going to require so much data scraping or whatever on Ethereum that it's going to slow it down to a T. And Richard has the ability to be nice or not. So I don't know if you know a little more about that.
I've never heard that. It doesn't ring true to me. I'm not saying that's not correct, but I don't see how it could be correct. Pulse Chain doesn't rely on Ethereum. It's not burning Ethereum. It's not an L2, right? It's an L1. So yeah, if you had some information, I'd
it
take
had something to do with hex stakes on ETH. And
well,
Richard
hex stakes on Ethereum, yeah, burn a lot of Ethereum, and you could slow down the chain if a bunch of them came out at the same time. So like, yeah, maybe the big OA stakes, but yeah, I have some devs I know that may have an idea about that, so I will look into it.
There was a couple clips that I saw people had posted on Twitter of Richard talking about it, but I'll try to dig them up and shoot them over to you. But it was new to me, and I was like, oh wow, so Richard actually can get the leverage here on Ethereum moving forward. So I'll find it, bro, and send it over to you. It might not have been with the hex staking, but there was something that Richard was working on that he had the ability to basically clog up East blockchain.
Maybe Richard can combine forces with Jack Levin and they can wreck Ethereum. That'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. Some forced evolution.
But the nice thing about Pulse Chain is that like it is a fork of Ethereum. Originally, it was supposed to be a fork of BNB, but Richard decided to do Ethereum instead, which was a very good plan because a lot of money goes into developing Ethereum upgrades. Pulse Chain's 4 Ethereum upgrades behind, but those could be in order put into Pulse Chain. I think the main reason not to do it right now, mostly because it's not necessary. Gas prices are already low, but gas prices could be made lower on Pulse Chain by pushing some of those updates. And by letting Ethereum sit on those updates for a couple of years, any sort of security flaws, any sort of like issue that would, affect the chain will come out on Ethereum instead of Pulse Chain. And then we just push the updates that are pure and good, after they've been around for 3-4 years.
Yep, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm super bullish on Pulse, bro. Dude, like the privacy. I'm hearing rumors there was a snapshot taken for L2. I don't know if it's true or not, but I know Richard's got some plans in the pipeline, and he's gonna make people regret fudding him and doubting him and leaving. I know that he's got that chip on his shoulder, and he wants to stick it to those people so bad.
I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah. I think he wants to get recognized by his peers too, right? Like guys like CZ. Like we saw that post where Richard responded to CZ. CZ didn't respond to Richard. But like, guess what? When Pulse Chain's pumping up like 14x, right? Like CZ's going to start taking his calls, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. I heard something too that gold retraced today. Oh yeah, down $75. Oh wow. Woo! All right, bro. This is huge. If that was the top for gold,
it's good for us, right?
Mm-hmm. So typically, Bitcoin ran again or the hardest in the past when gold topped off.
Yeah, because gold is like the risk-off option. When people are scared, they buy gold. Then the next down the line is silver. How is silver doing today?
Silver was up a little bit. I'm pretty sure to like 54. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, silver's down to 51.86, down 4%. Okay. Wow. Okay.
The silver chart doesn't look terrible either.
No.
I have some silver. Maybe it's time to roll it into Pulse Chain.
Oh, me too. I actually have some ounces of silver, but it's in Albany where I'm from and all my family and stuff is. So I got to make a trip out there in the next couple of days because I want to sell some of it. Like It's just silver can't go to $100 an ounce. If it does, our iPhones double in price, Tesla batteries double in price, computers start to double in. Like there's so many things that silver relies on industry. You can't have it go to $100. It disrupts too much.
Yeah, and I don't think the cartels around silver are quite the same, right? Like, like obviously diamonds is insanely controlled, gold would be next on the list. It is a utilitarian metal, even though it's, shiny and nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro. So I really don't think it can get higher than like $70 maybe. I think gold's gonna go back to like 2,200 and silver hits around 70. So you have like a 30-to-1 ratio, which is kind of more in balance of whatever it is now at like 80-to-1 or something.
No, the only thing that would make them get much higher if like fiat currency suffered huge inflation, right? Because then, that they become a hedge against that, right? But like typically, I don't think, like, obviously if you caught this run, you would have done good. But historically, people who invest in gold or silver to some extent, like it's
Bro, your mic went out. I can't hear you. No, it's still out. Whatever happened earlier in the green room looks like some technical difficulties.
time to get a new mic.
There you go. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was saying that like the chances of people invest in gold to keep their money at the same value when there's inflation in fiat currency, right? Like it's not going to make you rich. You're not going to get a 20x on gold. Maybe in your lifetime you will, but that will be because fiat currency devalues so much.
Yeah, I want to look up a chart. Stock market adjusted for inflation. Or no, wait, it was for money printing or inflation. One of them. It's either money printing or inflation. And when you look at the chart, it's exactly, bro. Over the last 40 years, you are literally even. You did nothing.
Standing still.
It's not the inflation adjusted. It's the money printed or money printing adjusted or something like that. I saw Sami showed it on one of his streams. And I was like, oh my God, you actually did nothing. You straight broke even over that long. And that was eye opening to me, bro. I thought it was a little bit better than that, but it is not. So everything's just bleeding right now.
Yeah. And it's to be expected, like especially on something like Pulse Chain where everything is connected. But if Pulse is down, everything's down typically. If you have something that's not, it's it's a one-off typically.
Yeah. Yeah, Clinton's definitely probably I'm thinking same thing. Sell it all, capitulate, and put it into like Litecoin or Luna Classic.
Luna Classic, yeah, that's a sure bet.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
for
actually,
sure.
I did well on Luna Classic, but because back then I was still trading some on Binance, and I was there the day I wasn't participating with it at all, but I saw the news, and I watched it the price go down on Binance of the stable coin to the point where it was no longer listable. Like it fell below the minimum amount, and I bought right before then. I bought a big chunk of the bottom of the chart. I don't think I have much of it left. I should check my old Binance account.
It'll come back. It'll pump back up again in the bull market.
It will. Yeah, I don't think that one is also never returning to $1, but like it's actually done fairly well.
Yeah, it has, bro. There's honestly not many coins that have done worse than like Hex and Pulse Chain the last 2 years. It's sad, but honestly, I don't care. It's once you understand and you see
Where
what's going
the
on.
opportunity is there because of that, right? Like this is like if you're looking for like, oh, you took profits from Ethereum, where should I put them? Like, what's the most undervalued asset that has a community behind it, right? Like you don't want to buy a ghost coin with like nobody's talking about, nobody knows about, but like Pulse Chain and Hex, like, and other, core tokens, like they're down 97% or whatever, and there's, a huge community that's constantly talking about it.
SPX versus the WM2. No, it's not SPX.
Some fancy stuff you're doing here.
WM2. SPWM2. What the hell? What is it? WM2NS.
I do not know what that is.
Yeah, no, I can't find it. Well, I'll do some homework and try to find it, but yeah, that's the chart right there. Appreciate you there, JLJ. SPX divided by.
Okay, right on. We have a pro in the chat.
Is this going to do it? Oh, I think we got it.
Yeah, let's zoom out. It's like if you were at that top, you just made it back.
From
How long is it
2000 to 26, you're still down, bro.
You're not even break even from 2000.
Nope. Isn't that
It's
crazy?
like the .com bubble or something.
Yeah, dude. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Yeah, crypto is the only way you can get the X's you need to actually break out of the system.
It is, bro. Like this shows you right here that any chart, any stat can be highly manipulated. And they can show you, they'll show you the stock market, and then even adjusted for inflation, it's okay. Oh, look at the stock, even the stock market versus gold. I'm pretty sure that's almost flat too.
Pretty close.
Yeah, man. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. All alpha
traders get wrecked, right? Like that's what Richard always says. So like, you have to look at what we see there is the average. Like that's the like you're looking at index, right?
Yeah, the S&P 500, yeah.
Yeah, so that's an index. That's like an average, and of course, you can buy into the S&P 500 being a reasonably safe play. But like most people are buying and selling individual stocks, so like your results may vary and are more likely to be less than if you'd bought the index statistically.
Yep, definitely, bro. It's very hard, man. People are brainwashed into thinking these little accounts that they have with financial advisors, these little mutual funds, and these little 8 to 10% a year gainers. It's like, yeah, congrats. After fees, inflation, devaluing the money, you just lost 2%, and you're thinking you're getting ahead.
Hey, one time in my youth, I decided like, oh, okay, I want to learn about the stock market. I could be a stock trader. And so I did it, right? Like I read like a bunch of Warren Buffett books and I took a couple courses and I learned enough that I was like, holy shit, if maybe I could do this, but it would just be a full-time job, right? I was like, I'm going to make extra money on the side trading on the stock market. But if you actually take the time to learn, it's like, no, you're not. Like unless you quit your job and this is all you do and you actually put in 12-hour days, like it's not easy money. Like sure, buy a piece of the index, that's pretty safe, but like yeah, if you're trying to beat the pros, like it's stacked against you on purpose.
Yep, bro. I see how, I know how it works with you got to get in to private equity. Like right now, you can buy into Kraken, you can buy into Ripple, you can buy into SpaceX, you can buy into Uphold, all these companies that are going to launch just like Circle did. And you could have bought in for shares of Circle at $10 3 years ago. And you could have bought Coinbase at $25 or $30 on Link 2 in 2020. And when it launched at like 340. So you bought in at $20, it launches at 340, you sell it, and then it dips all the way down to $40, and you rebuy the bottom again, and you run it all the way back up. And it's not fair. And it's with every single stock. Every person that's in early, because some private equity takes 10 years. You invest into it and the stock goes public 10 years later. So as soon as it goes live, you are cashing out. You are getting your monies back. So that stock is going to crash every time. And you got the Jim Cramers and these guys on the mainstream. Oh, this is going to be the greatest IPO ever. Oh, it's going to come out and and they come out and they fucking tank every single. They run up a little bit to get people excited. And it's the same thing, crash like every crypto chart. And it's a rigged game unless you're the 1% who's a accredited investor and you get in early.
Which means that you were putting in like 50K at a time. Like it's meant to keep out the little guy. Like most people will not be able to become accredited investors. So those investments won't even be an option to them, right? Like they're intentionally keeping out the little guys, making you go through your bank, right? Paying all the fees. Like what good is a stock trade where you put in $50 if it costs you $10 to make the trade, right? Like how much of your money does that take? It's terrible.
Yeah. And that's where I think just even tokenizing the stock market and bringing it on chain will help that little person, because just the fees alone will help them out. Because with stocks, you're 15% is a great year. So if you can, not lose 4% to fees, that really helps out the average person. But again, bro, it's just, you can't compare it to crypto, the upside.
Like tokenizing the stock market would actually be like more than just helping out the little guy, that it would be like a worldwide difference. Like there's entire countries where people can't access the stock market.
The world, bro, pretty much the entire world.
Totally. Like it'd be like guys in India who like can't access US stock markets, or like African countries where the governments are completely corrupt and they have no other option. Like, and those are the guys who are holding gold under their bed, right? Like, but they could put their money at work if the stock market was tokenized. And there is a little bit of that right now. I've heard of some things on Solana where you can buy like something that loosely represents an Apple stock and so on and so forth. But I'd like to see a full conversion.
Yeah, it's coming, bro. There's a project I follow called Swarm Markets, and they're tied in with Block V, who they own a company called Smart Media Technologies, and they've built out the Web3 apps for Starbucks, Burberry, Gucci, Fendi, the X Games, ESPN, every one of those digital apps. You're gonna have like programmable NFTs. So when you go and you buy a Coke or something, you'll have a Coke bottle that's in your actual phone as an NFT, and when it's gone, it'll be empty. Or if you have a gift, they're bringing that just next level of Web3 to these little apps we use. So there's companies out there that are building it. And I think we just got the regulation and stuff. So I would say in the next like 6-12 months, it's going to start to become a really big thing.
Yeah. And for sure, your normie buddies are going to be asking you about crypto then, right? I think that'll be the cool part. It won't be that like, okay, the stock market is nothing new. It's not going to change the price of the stock market that much based on that liquidity. But having like $1 billion on the blockchain would have an effect on the assets that were already on the blockchain in a major way, right? Be like, oh, I can now sell my Apple stock and buy Hex. Yes, you can, right? Like that. The potential for $50 million to move into any particular cryptocurrency in a second, it would be so huge.
Yeah, bro, that's what's gonna bring a lot of liquidity too. Is there's a project that I talk about a lot, Dynex, on here, and it's like 4 cents right now, but they are building this quantum as a service LLM models that blow ChatGPT out of the water, and they're building this quantum chip that doesn't need to be stored at absolute zero. So it's the way of the future. So you're not just destroying endless amounts of energy. So what they're doing is in January or February, if you own the crypto, you can convert it 1-to-1 with a tokenized security token, and that's going to be trading alongside all the quantum stocks on the stock market on these platforms, and they're all at like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5 billion valuations, and Dynex is $4 million right now. So like the potential for that thing and having that traded with stocks, exactly what you're saying, the liquidity will start to be able to flow in between stocks and crypto so much better and so much smoother and just fat and seamlessly.
Yeah, that would be so huge for us. Like, just imagine some guy being like, "Okay, it's time to rotate out of stocks. I'm gonna like move my $43 million into Hex," right? Like, you could just have these ridiculous pumps because it would all be in the same system. I think that that's something that the stock market guys won't like. But but it could go the other way, right? People would be like, "Okay, Bitcoin's topped. Time to move back into Apple. Apple gets a 20% pump." And a 20% pump to stock market guys is like, wow, it did 20%. They think that's crazy. Whereas in crypto, we calculate in X's.
Bro, honestly, though, the one thing I think that they will like about it is the fact that it's going to trade 24/7, 365. So the volume and the trading fees are going to be what, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. You now double the hours a day, add 2 more days. You're probably going to add 2.5% amount of fees you're generating from that much more trading. So that's, that could be one thing, but we'll see how it plays out.
I never thought of the fees. Oh yeah, the fees would be insane. Can you imagine having like
Yeah.
Tesla stocks on like your decks and like having $50 billion move through in one day? Like, it'd be so crazy.
And you have one share that's $190. So one person right now can come and buy that one share of a stock. Well, if you could take that one share and 1,000 people could buy $3 worth and trade it back and forth constantly. So that one share is generating a ton of volume and fees versus it's just one share stuck in someone's wallet everywhere else. So it really opens up a lot for liquidity.
Next.
So what are we looking at? $2,700 ETH, or you think we continue and get to all ATH above? Oh, bro, we are. So Bitfinex, just follow the big money, right? Look at what Donald Trump is doing. Look at what Tom Lee's doing. Look at the amount of ETH that's on exchanges heading to all-time lows. The whales are loading up on it while funding it in the mainstream. That's what they do. So I don't think ETH will go below 3,500, 3,400 if it does. I think this was the last dip, and I think ETH will be at 10K before it's at 2,700.
I just sent you a link for the ETH Strategic Reserve where you can see the big players and what they're doing, and it's pretty crazy. Like, the biggest guys are buying, so, and like hardly any of them are selling. The only one on the list that's selling is like this significant is in the bot number 70 out of 71, right? Like, they're not
Yeah,
significant.
they probably got wrecked somewhere else, and they had and that's the thing, is just because this guy's selling, everybody that's at this level is using high-end AI trading bots and algorithms. So if they're in one trade or something and they get liquidated or it goes upside down, they're just going to automatically trigger a liquidation of our other assets to cover those losses. So it's just a cascade effect. So just like we saw with the liquidations from Athena on pegging on Binance for a little bit, it spreads all around crypto. So that's the one downside to some of these things where you can look at something and say, oh God, this is bad. People are dumping ETH, when these guys could be the most bullish DAT out of all of them on ETH. They just made some stupid play and got liquidated. So I had to sell ETH to cover that loss.
Been. But like who cares what the bottom guys are doing? Like, the top guy on this chart has 3 million ETH, right? And and his balance went up by 40% in the last 30 days. So like Bitmine Immersion Tech, which I think is
25%.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. And then we got the Pulse Chain Sack Bags at number 5, more than Coinbase, almost as much as the Ethereum Foundation.
Yep. Aave took in 35%, bro. So I don't know if the DAO is the lending DAO. So that means people are a lot of people just locked up ETH, if that's what I'm thinking it is.
No, it won't be the money that's in Aave, like in the protocol. It'll be like the DAO that's set aside funds for DAO purposes, right? So that's not that is not the ETH that's in Aave. There'll be way more ETH in Aave than that.
Okay. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, that's literally a DAO that could spend that money if they wanted to.
Wow. Yeah, bro. That's cool. I wonder if there's a strategic BTC
Oh,
reserve that. Nope.
not the same. Probably
Doesn't
somebody's
exist.
tracking that though.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I was just curious to see what there actually is one for the ETFs. There's a tracker that shows what all the big ETFs bought in for the day, but they're all, bro, it's the same thing. They're all accumulating. So what do they know that we don't?
Yeah. Well, they have better TA than us, right? Like they're using glass nodes, they're doing all the different things that cost money. And like these companies have staff, right? Like, for Pulse Chain, the staff is kind of Richard Hart, but like Coinbase has like a team of guys who are telling them what the price of ETH is going to do. And like they're not dumping it. Or so I think there's something. The Ethereum Foundation is different because they're just communists that dump things, but everybody else has a plan.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah,
Even
this is
the Ethereum Foundation's not dumping that much. If they thought it was the top, if the Ethereum Foundation thought it was the top, they would be like shoving that out the door.
yeah. I think too a change of scenery and cleaning house really helped out the foundation too.
I've heard that. I haven't seen the results yet necessarily, but
Yeah. Yeah. You got to give them time. You got to let them get in and make their changes get into effect. And, it's like when you cut interest rates or you do something to the economy, it takes years to see the effect of it. But they need to move. They got to get going, bro. ETH is, I don't know, bro. I don't think it's sustainable long term, but hey, what do I know?
well, Ethereum is where the major financial things live, right? So like all the RWA assets and stuff like that all flow to Ethereum. So I think and governments are the ones who have been buying, governments and like institutions, commercial entities have the ones who've been buying Ethereum so far. They got it to where it is now in this segment of the market. So we haven't seen retail come in and FOMO Ethereum, right? But like there'll probably be a day where there's a lineup of people waiting to buy Ethereum, just like there's a lineup of people waiting to buy gold right now.
Yep, I agree. And that was the top, bro. When the media is showing people lining up to buy physical gold, that was the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, the RWAs, bro, it's just nonstop growing. Every time I look at the site, it's everything from stable coins to treasuries. Oh no, treasuries are actually down. That's good. So they're not printing.
There we go.
What is this? Oh shit. All right. Well, I just got booted off that site. I ain't doing that shit. But oh well. Everything's looking good, bro. All the metrics. Every cycle's different. They repeat or they don't repeat, they rhyme.
Indeed.
There we
I
go. We
think
could
for Pulse Chain, like we don't necessarily need a money injection right now because it's like the market is doing what we see here. Like we need a money injection when the market comes back, right? When people like start to be bullish again, we want them looking at Pulse Chain. And what we really need is a leader injection. So I feel like there's a very good chance that we see Richard start streaming again, based on him doing that 12-hour reply session on Twitter, which he hadn't done for like more than a year. Not a single reply to a single human. In fact, he posted Richard Hart does not reply or look at other people's Twitter accounts at all. Like he said that, which was obviously a legal disclaimer, so that the SEC couldn't claim that he was reading their messages or whatever. So I think maybe something legally has changed, that it allowed him to do that 12-hour AMA session. And I don't see the significance between doing that and doing a live stream and interacting directly with the audience. He still gets to choose which questions he wants to answer if there's something that has a legal thing to it. But like, yeah, that AMA session on X made me think that we're going to see Richard back pretty soon. Even though he said, he said some bullshit about like I only have 150,000 subscribers. I don't feel like that's good enough to stream, but it's like, his subscriber count will like 10x as soon as he starts streaming.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
And he knows that for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the chart is what it is. Like, I'm not worried about it. Maybe we're looking good until
It's boring
mid-August.
compared to everything else, mostly, right? It's like
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, bro,
I
the ETH chart now is kind of just as boring.
yeah.
It's just straight chop.
Well, it is funny to think about, like when like Bitcoin's even more boring, but people would freak out today because like, oh no, Bitcoin is $106,000, whereas like 6 months 6 months ago we would have been dancing in the streets if Bitcoin was $106,000. Like people's attention span is so low that it's like, no, it's still really good. Bitcoin's more than $100,000, right? Like that we still got a lot going on here.
But June 20th, ETH wicked down to $2,100.
That was the day, I assume, right?
Yeah, and April 8th, the Trump tariff stuff, it wicked down to
Okay.
under 1,400.
Hmm.
So it doesn't feel like we're doing much because we're all so used to the last cycle where it topped off and you just kind of like 4,500, you're numb to it. It's like we expect it to be there. And we're having a tough time breaking through, but I think the next one, I mean, what's this? A quadruple tap of the trying to break through. So fifth time's got to be the charm. If not,
Yeah.
we're dead.
Sometimes people are just worn out and you need like a downtime and then it comes back. I see other indicators like our stream today doesn't have as many views as last week, and I can tell like that's often the case when people are like, "Oh, I'm done. I can't look at this anymore." So then you need a week off basically, and then like stuff pops back.
Yeah, this was like just a brutal week of just consistently chopping, rolling over more pain, more punishment. But that was to be expected, guys. When the government there's going to be something that gets bullish next week. The government's got to come back. They can't be shut down for much longer. The markets are really starting to get affected, and that's Trump's that's his go-to, his bragging point is on how good he's doing as a president is how well the stock market's doing. So they ain't gonna let this nonsense continue for much longer. They can blame the government shutdown on it, and when they come back, I think we'll start to see ETFs come out, liquidity, and the next 2 months should be awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, bro.
What do you think would like the what would the effect be if Richard started streaming again?
I think immediately everybody starts jumping back into Twitter Spaces. The community comes together. Everyone starts getting super excited. And I think founders of projects like SolidX and some of these bigger guys that have deep pockets, I think they'll start putting money, sending some of their charts, creating green candles, and it spreads from there, bro. The excitement is back. Everyone is bullish again, showing charts, showing how much money they're making, and it's just a complete flip of that mentality. So I think that would spark a never-ending rally until the bull market is over on Pulse Chain, because everyone here is ready for it and has been waiting for it. And if people were this passionate for the past 3 years of just debacles and chaos, when things are good, I think it's going to be the best they've ever been.
Agreed. And I think when Richard comes back, it would probably be accompanied by green candles in one way, shape, or form, just because that would work so much better for the narrative. And especially if he is going on like other big shows with like big KOLs, right? Like if he's on with Rand or something, they're going to be talking about the green candles. Nobody
Exactly,
wants
bro.
to talk about the red candles, right? Like it's as a founder, you're like on a bad day, like it's usually you just stay quiet, right? But on a good day, you want to talk about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's no point in him coming back right now and having to answer the first question. Richard, well, you launched this new project Pulse Chain and your first project is shitting the bed. Why the hell did you launch the second one? You can't figure out how to launch your first or make your first project. Like, He doesn't want to deal with that shit, and he shouldn't have to. And so I just don't think he comes back until that's not even an issue. The charts are looking better, and it's clear that we're not going to just miss this cycle, or we're a one-time wonder last cycle.
Indeed. Well, I know a guy with the 160,000 plus ETH in a wallet that could probably paint the chart if he wanted to. So you never know.
Exactly, bro. You never know. And I'm sure there's lots of OGs that have money that they're waiting to splash around. And there's
I know
just
there are. Yeah.
yeah,
Even
bro.
on chain, like there's a stable wallets sitting on chain with like $1 million, and I'm waiting for the right time, which could be when Richard goes live on YouTube, all right, or whatever their indicator is. There's guys waiting to buy.
Yeah, I completely agree. And they will be here when the time is right. And for now, we're gonna just continue this nonsense. Just chop around. Don't even worry about the USD price. Like, it doesn't matter. All of crypto, except for maybe 5 projects, are criminally undervalued because they haven't had the attention yet. They haven't had the pump, and that's okay. Those are the coins you want to go after, stack up, and when they start to take off, you're not FOMOing into them. You feel damn good that you were early and you're gonna capture all the gains.
If you're here right now on Pulse Chain, even if you just started yesterday, you can still consider yourself early.
Yeah, bro. You come in now. You buy at this bottom compared to where we sacked at and shit. I mean, yeah, if you sacrificed for Pulse Chain or PulseX and just left your bag and didn't touch anything, you're freaking wrecked right now. You need to come by right now at these bottoms and lower your entry points. And
That makes sense.
yeah,
So, like, the people who, let's say, sacrifice for PulseX and then receive their bag and then haven't touched it, right? Like, yeah, they're down, but like a lot of them will have done better than the guys who tried to, swap it back and forth between that and the whatever the meme coin of the day is. So, depending on your skill set, right? Like, just holding through the highs and the lows until it's time is not a bad strategy.
no, I completely agree with you. Yeah, if you were that person that you only sacrificed and then you got your coins and you tried to rotate into some shit coins, that probably did not go well. And yeah, you're better off at that point. Just don't even touch it and just add what you can. Even if it's $20 a week, just slowly DCA. $20 down here at the bottom could be a $3,000 buy in 8 months from now. You don't know.
My strategy is like I do a lot of farming things, right? So I'll do like low and permanent loss farming, and then I get like a little farming yield in other tokens, and then I can use that farming yield to DCA, right? So that's my like, oh, okay, I have $200 in my farming account. I'm a little low on ink. I'm gonna buy some more ink, right? At $1.13, ink is looking pretty good. I could top it up, right? And that's one of the ways you can keep your bag, your core bag without selling it, but still have money to DCA with.
Yep. Bingo, bro. That's what I preach consistently, not with Pulse Chain, with the DeFi on Stellar, the DeFi on Flare, the liquid stake and stuff on Hedera. Once you can find these protocols and your money is spread out to where you're earning passive income every day, yeah, you never have to sell your core assets again. And I just stress that to people. Like, we don't know I think this is going to hundreds of trillions of dollars, this market cap, by 2030. And if you're owning the right assets right now, you don't need to do anything but just put them away and get 3% a year on them, 4% a year. And if this market goes to where I think, you'll be able to live off that 4% a year.
That's an interesting concept. Like 4% on 100,000 isn't very interesting, but 4% on $10 million, well, I could live off 400 grand a year probably, if I cut some corners.
Exactly, bro. And that the 4 to 5%, that's like absolute no risk, where you could take your XRP, wrap it on Flare into FXRP, and just delegate it to a no risk pool where you can earn 5% a year. And yeah, if you want to earn more and put stuff in liquidity pools or loan it out, you could take more risk and definitely earn 7-8%. and 7-8% on a couple $1 million, now you're making 150 grand a year. That's
Absolutely. Well, and
yeah.
well, like 7-8%. Like there are places where you can earn 300%, though it's probably higher risk. But what you're talking about, Adam, is impermanent loss, right? So we're low impermanent loss, which is when like you're farming two assets together, and when the price of one goes down way faster than the other, or one goes up way faster than the other, you end up with more of the less valuable of the two assets. So you want to make sure you're in things right now at this point in the bull market that are either really correlated with each other. Like we could say any of these Richard Hart assets are pretty correlated, even though Pulse and PulseX go up and down against each other. It's like, they mostly move up and down together in the big picture. Or things like stable coins. But when we start talking like 5%, like on Pulse Chain right now, you can make, 18, 20, I've even seen 80% on just stable coins. So like there are safe ways to do that. Ink Printer right now is 15% APR single-sided staking of stable coins, for example.
Holy shit, dude. Bro, that's awesome. And yeah, see that's why Pulse Chain is special, because stuff like that does not exist on these other DeFi platforms. We are 6 months to a year ahead of the rest of crypto. The stuff that they're using for DeFi, and they're all excited about bridging stuff over. And it's like, man, we did this shit 2 years ago. So we are the smartest, furthest ahead DeFi community in all of crypto. So going to other chains like Flare and Stellar, where they're not, Stellar is not a DeFi hub. It's not meant for DeFi, but it's there. So it's not clunky. You'll be so experienced. The stuff will come easy to you on these other chains. And that's the beautiful thing over here, is you learn so much, not really even, you don't understand how much you really learn. It just becomes normal. Like, oh, everyone's doing this. This is Pulse Chain. But when you step away from it, that is not the case everywhere else.
Best APR on stablecoins I can see right now on Pulse Chain is 38%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's just stables to stables, zero impermanent loss. It's the USDL pool on the Fox Exchange. You have the 2FUX front end for bonus yield paired with USDT, USDC, and DAI from Ethereum. So it's a pretty boring pool, but like, yeah, it's paying 38%. But there's a whole bunch of pools that are over 15%. Like the Tide Exchange has 17.5% on USDC to HUSDC, which is basically the same thing. There's 15% on all the liquidity forks. Like there's tons of options on Pulse Chain for stables. We're actually PDI may not go to $1 in my opinion, but we could become the stablecoin chain. Because low fees on stablecoins makes it very attractive. So I think going through one more bear market, when we come back into the next bull and we have like, there's whatever $50 billion of stablecoins on Pulse Chain during the bear, the next bull will be outrageous.
Yeah, dude, exactly. And I think Richard is really going to incentivize people to keep money on chain. That like he wants these stable coins here. So if there's places you can earn 15, 18%, people aren't leaving. And that will be huge for just the stability of the chain.
Agreed.
Yeah. Oh, so many opportunities. I'm excited, man. But it's I had a long day, bro. I did a stream earlier. This is my second one. We've been going for almost an hour, 20 minutes. Anything else that we missed or you want to touch on?
I think we covered all the good stuff. There's lots of noise on X right now, but I think like if you're watching right now and you're wondering what to do, we're not giving you financial advice, but we're calm, and that's where you need to be. So take a step outside, touch some grass. Don't look at the chart for a week. It really won't kill you. And don't do high risk leverage things. Even if you think you're a pro and you can handle it, you're probably wrong.
Yeah. Do not trade on high risk leverage. One of my boys, shout out Goo God, his family has been building a trading bot for 15 years.
Oh, really?
that
Okay.
his
Cool.
yeah, that his family was working on, and they finally deployed it into crypto, and he was crushing MEXC, and they reached
Sweet.
out to him and wanted to have him be one of their copy traders, and he said no. And ever since he said no, he could not trade at more than 8x leverage, or else they would hunt his trades down. And they
Yeah,
weren't
that
doing
makes
that
sense.
before. And once he started doing well and making money, his account must have got flagged. They reached out to him, and since he said no, it ended. So it's like, guys, it just don't even do it. Don't bother. It's
Yeah.
not worth it.
No, they'll like anything centralized like that, they'll find a way to keep you from winning, right? That's their goal. Funny story, my brother-in-law, who's really, really smart, he he's not like a professional at it, but he got so good at sports betting that every single sports betting site blocked him. Like he cannot place a bet anywhere in North America anymore because he had spreadsheets. He was like going off of like he's a numbers guy, he's smart. And yeah, like when his win percentage gets over 60%, they just shut you down, right? Like they don't want you to win. These things are not meant to make you money, they're meant to make them money.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with casinos. You go in and you play blackjack and you go on a heater, they can say, "Oh, buddy, you're counting cards. You're out of here. You're done. Pack your shit up." And there's nothing you can do.
And counting cards isn't even illegal, right? Like as
Yeah.
long as you're in most places, as long as you're not using a device. Like if you're just smart, you can remember the cards. It's not illegal, but they will kick you out.
Mm-hmm. Right. So there these these people that post all these screenshots and how good they're doing and this and that, it's all an illusion, guys. It doesn't exist. You're better off taking the best assets, staking them, not putting up high risk, finding stable coin pairs, or even like hex and ehex pools, or pulse stuff that are going to be holding both sides up for the long term. And when you can find stuff like that, you make your life simple, you start earning passive income, and then you just slowly add to it. And your $20 a week slowly becomes 30, and then it becomes 50, 60. And then we get a pump in the markets. And now you're making $100. And then you say, "Oh, wow, I could actually, if I can get to X amount of numbers, I could live off of this." So then you start to build goals to where, all right, I need to take some of these coins I have, make these profits, and funnel them in to my banks or my businesses, my money printers, so I can actually live off them and I'll never have to sell my principals again. And that's what I've been trying to stress to people for so long. And you do a good job at it too. And I think the morale here, just hammering it home and giving examples and showing people, look, this is the pool I'm in. It's earning me 20%. It's so safe. This is a phenomenal opportunity. And when you could find 5, 10 of those, even it doesn't even have to be on Pulse Chain. If it is, great. If not, we're here to make money and not get wrecked. So if there's a great opportunity out there, I'm going to tell you about it, no matter what chain it's on. I don't care what people say. I want you guys to win. And I know Fast is the same way. And he's built stuff to help people on this chain. He'll continue to do that. And this is what we need.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think, yeah, like guys like you and I have been around for a long time. Like we're still going to be around in the bear market. We're still going to be having these conversations. And that's something people should watch for. But, everybody's got to make their own decision, right? Like now is not the time to sit on the sidelines, in my opinion, but like, do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And if you're on the sidelines because you're tapped out and you're all in and you feel like you're on the sidelines, trust me, I'm there too. I'm not just buying every single day, right? When I have some money, yeah, I'll find a bag or two that's been crushed and down the most and add to it. Or if you don't have new money, you look at your portfolio and see if there's anything that has been pumping and you can skim some froth off the top and rotate it into your worst performing bags. And that way it kind of it keeps you from selling out of positions or just doing stupid things. So have a plan, stick to it. And guys like us will be here. If you have questions or you need help, reach out. We're willing to help you. We don't want to see you guys get wrecked. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity you have here to make generational wealth. And don't worry if it doesn't come this cycle. It's okay if it's a 5 to 8 year plan. All right. Not everyone is a Moonbee Roots who just got rich overnight and is retiring off a meme coin. Like that's pure luck. Go to the casino. There's nothing wrong with waiting 6 years to retire yourself. That's a pretty damn good deal.
Seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, even at my age.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, Fast Man, it was great having you on. Any last words?
I think just a little security alert. I will never send anybody a private message first on Telegram or Twitter or anywhere else. If you guys reach out to me, make sure you're talking to the right person. But that's how the scammers get you. They pretend to be somebody you know, and then they start asking you suspicious questions. So yeah, all DMs are scams, until you know otherwise. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm glad that my accounts are small enough where no one has started the fake Vibros, because that's one thing I don't want to wake up to is someone saying, "Hey, bro, what you sent me this message," and it's like, "Oh my God, I don't want to have that on my conscience." So praying that day doesn't come, but it's inevitable.
It's not on you, man. It will happen. It's not your fault, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it except for like insulate your audience against it in advance. It's the only thing you can do.
Yep. Yeah. Well, Bass Man, it was great talking to you. Great stream again. All 468 of you in here. Thank you for the support. If you're not following us, give us a follow, give us a like. We need to break through the algorithms, and it takes 2 seconds to literally smash the like button, because it'll get it out in front of more people, and that way Pulse Chain will grow. So we will see you guys on the next one.
Yeah. We're in the building. Yeah, we lighting up the scene. Crypto gems on radar, chasing every dream. Do your own research, that's the golden theme. We bring the facts, no cap, we keep it clean. Scrolling through the charts, got my eyes on the rise. Viber got the info, got me feeling so wise. No hype, just the truth, yeah, we cutting through lies. Sharpen knowledge on the daily, watch the profits multiply. From Bitcoin to the altcoins, we digging for gold. Community so strong, never do what you're told. That's the motto, let the story unfold. We ain't selling you a dream, just the facts to behold. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep the future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. No pump and dump, just the realest advice. We break it all down, make it simple and nice. Every tip, every trick, got you rolling the dice. But with knowledge in your pocket, you can win every price. Viber finance, shining in the night. Crypto gems, yeah, we find them right. Do your research, keep your future bright. Viber got your back, we ignite your flight. So when you're lost in the crypto sea, Vibra's the light, come vibe with me. Stay smart, stay sharp, and you'll always see the best gems shine with transparency.